The Sleeping Beauty problem is a thought experiment that's had mathematicians and philosophers arguing amongst each other for over 2 decades, and there's still no consensus. It creates a situation for them to argue about whether you should believe that there's a 1/2 or 1/3 chance that a fair coin landed on heads. So Sleeping Beauty has fallen on hard times after being kissed awake by that prince guy, and she agrees to participate in a clinical trial for an amnesia drug. I don't know how it got past the ethics committee, but the researchers lay it all out for her before the experiment begins. They're gonna give her an injection and put her to sleep on Sunday. After that, they're gonna flip a fair coin, and that will determine what happens next. If the coin comes up heads, they'll wake her up on Monday and ask her a question. And then they'll put her to sleep again with an amnesia serum that makes her forget she's ever been awoken. Now, if the coin comes up tails, they're gonna do the same thing on Monday. They ask her the question, give her the injection, and give her the amnesia serum that makes her forget that she's ever been awoken. But in the tail scenario, they do the same thing again on Tuesday. They wake her up again, ask her the question, and then inject her with the sleepin' and forgettin' serum again. So the question they ask her anytime she's awoken during the experiment is, what do you believe the probability is that the coin landed on heads? And this is where the arguments come in. The paper has been cited over 400 times on Google Scholar, and there are two main teams, the halfers and the thirders. Halfers argue that the coin is a fair coin, and Sleeping Beauty doesn't ever learn any new information during the experiment. So the probability of a coin landing on heads is a half. Simple as that, and the rest is irrelevant. However, thirders argue that she should believe that there's only a 1 in 3 chance that the coin came up heads. See, there are 3 possible scenarios where she can be awoken and asked a question. The coin came up heads and she's asked on Monday, or the coin came up tails and she's asked on Monday, or the coin came up tails and she's asked on Tuesday. So in the case of tails, she's awoken twice as many times. I flipped a coin 100 times and put the results in this chart here. I flipped heads a total of 51 times, and I flipped tails a total of 49 times. Every time I flipped a heads, I logged it in the heads Monday pile, and every time I flipped a tails, I logged it in the tails Monday and the tails Tuesday pile. And that totaled out to 51 awakenings that happened after a heads was flipped, and 98 awakenings that happened after a tails was flipped. So a tails awakening occurred almost 2/3 of the time, and a heads awakening occurred just more than 1/3 of the time. But halfers come back in and point out that each time tails comes up, the awakenings comes in sets of 2. You've never actually changed the dynamics of a coin. The results are always 50-50. And I still can't make up my mind, so what do you think?